I am DYANAROZAY, and I bring a unique commentary to your favorite reality TV shows and whatever is popping on social media. If you are not a subscriber, please become one. Hit that notification bell too, that way you don't miss any of my videos. I go by DYANAROZAY on all platforms, and I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me. What's up, Supreme Team? Welcome to the channel. It's your girl, DYANAROZAY, child. I am here, finally. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I see you, Ty. Come on in. Glow, I see you. Come on in, everybody. Hit the like button, share the video. You can't hear me. You can hear me now. Okay, cool. Child, I was gone, wasn't I? I was gone, but I am here now. And we are here to talk about Belle Collective. This is episode 4. Take the poll at the top of the chat because Treece is the talk of the show, baby. At the end of that episode, at the therapy party, Miss Treece showed out. Miss Treece started putting in them damn tears, baby. And then she took Selena's Burberry scarf and started wiping her nose and patting them eyeballs. And she didn't think the camera saw it, okay? Hopefully you guys watched it. Hit the like button, share the video, please and thank you. And I appreciate all of my new Supreme Team family. I see y'all. Thank y'all for hitting that like button and the subscribe button. Thank you for becoming a member of the cookout of the team over here, okay? Because we got lots to talk about, all right? I don't know if y'all have been paying attention, but isn't this, my skin is practically poreless. Poreless. I've been talking to y'all about the Rock skincare system. Let me put a picture up here for y'all so you can see it. I've been talking about this right here, this Rock skincare. And baby, I did not know that I was going to have poreless skin. I have porcelain skin, like the glass skin that the kids be talking about, that the kids talk about now. I didn't even know. But yes, I have been officially on this program for 2 months. And right now, I'm pleased with what I got going on. So if y'all want to try it out, there's a link somewhere in the description box. Okay, make sure y'all try that out for me. Okay, let's get back over here to Treece. What did you say? That nose wipe you out, girl? I was like, not pulling that lady's scarf. Why would you pull her scarf? What else y'all talking about? All right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, baby. Because when I tell y'all, Glenn pulled a Fantasia last night, talking about if you don't want me, then don't talk to me. Oh my goodness, that's all I heard, baby. Baby, don't pay me no mind. You act like you don't want me no more. Child, it was awful. Anyway, it opened where it left off, right? Mr. Glenn is out the door. Tisha said, let's be celibate, okay? I'm going to raise you. I think Glenn said something like, all you do is use me for dick and paychecks. And she said, I'm going to raise you that. I'm going to raise you that dick and paycheck. Let me be celibate. I'll just take the check. I'll just take the check is what Letitia told him. Anyway, Glenn said, you must be out your damn mind, okay? You must be out your damn mind. I'm out. And he hopped in that truck. Tisha tried to call him. He picked up, hung it up, jumped in there, rolled smooth off, okay? Tisha said, I know this. You better answer this motherfucking phone. So she ends up calling him back. He said, Tisha, what do you want from me, okay? What do you want from me? Tisha said, you're not letting me finish. You're not letting me finish. He said, ain't nothing else to talk about. Nothing else to talk about. I told you, I feel like I'm doing all the work. Look, let me tell y'all how Glenn pulled a Uno reverse. I hope y'all paying attention to these Uno reverses that's going on, not only on the TV show, but on YouTube. Baby, the way everybody's pulling an Uno reverse is killing me. But this mofo pulled an Uno reverse and said, Tisha, I've been trying to talk to you, okay? I've been doing all the work. I'm the only one that's honest in this month, okay? I was like, didn't this whole situation start because of you? Because you was flirting with a woman that is your wife's friend? Isn't that how it started? But Tisha sat there, baby, and listen, and hold on. Let me put this picture up. When Tisha showed this broke ass phone that said, "My husband," with the heart and the little love emoji in the middle, I howled. Okay? She was holding that phone, listening to that man. He said, "I'm the only one doing all the work. I'm the only one doing all the work. And you sit here pulling. I tell you that I don't want to be used. I tell you that, and you tell me that let's be celibate." He said, "Tisha, under no circumstances am I playing this shit." He told her that if this is what she wants, then she need to move the fuck around. That's what he told her. Similar to what Maurice is going to tell Kimmy, find somebody else if this don't satisfy you. He told his wife to move the F around, let him know what he needs to do, baby, because he can't take it anymore. He ends up telling Tisha that the last time this happened, he was so hurt. He said he couldn't even take it anymore. He was out of his mind the last time Tisha tried to pull some shit like this on him. Now, while I'm watching, I'm like, Tisha, if you don't pipe the fuck up and say the last time this happened, Glenn, we was waiting on a DNA test, okay? So it's not like you weren't out there getting your royal oats met. You did. But Tisha just sat there, child, rolling her eyes and not saying nothing. I didn't know if anybody, girl, I would have hung up on Glenn. But Glenn pulled a Uno reverse on Tisha and basically said, because I am asking to be respected, because I'm asking you for honesty, because I'm asking you to treat me like a partner in your businesses. This is how you ice me out. I don't respect that, Tisha. And if this is what you want, you need to move the fuck around, because I'm not going to be without. And then he hangs up the phone, and Tisha looked at that phone like, that's not what I was saying. Letitia, that is what you're saying. And you just need to be straight, point blank honest, like he told you. Be honest, because that man right now, the way he tried to guilt trip you about some shit he started was absolutely diabolical. It was diabolical. Come on in, everybody. Hit the like button. Share the video. Okay. Liz said, the only difference between Maurice and Glenn is that Maurice wants Kimmy to say it. Maurice wants Kimmy to come to that conclusion. Listen, yes, I agree with that. There's a way that men act when they want you to move on, okay? Because they've been moved on. They're just trying to ease you into moving on. And that's one of the ways. Everything that Maurice is doing, which we will talk about because that airs tonight. We'll be talking about that shit tomorrow. But they do certain shit to say, I would rather you hate me and really just get the fuck on than for us to try to pretend like we can be friends, because I know you'll never leave me. I know you'll never leave me if I try to do it, right? Come on in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hit the like button and share the video. I appreciate you guys. So yeah, that's how it opened up. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, Tisha, if you let this man Uno reverse you the way he did, because he absolutely did. When she rolled her eyes up into her head, I was like, is this her saying, I know he's giving me a line, but she's not saying it on TV? Because she does say something to Marie a little later. But I caught that. And I also caught that Glenn is really playing a fucking victim. He's a mess. Okay? They will try to gaslight you into thinking that you made the choice. Listen, everybody should have experienced this in high school. High school, junior high, you should know what this is. They're tricks don't change, okay? The tricks don't change. Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about Carrie and Matt and Carrie's many, many hairstyles, child. Listen, I think that Carrie's hair or wigs or whatever, they're going to have a show of their own by the time we get to the end of the season, because that Alabama humidity, child, is tearing it's tearing Carrie up. But she ends up coming home. She had some sort of news segment she did for the local news, and she meets her husband on the back patio. He is cleaning out the pool, okay? And he has on a pair of shorts that look like they might just have been 2 inches too high, okay? I don't know if we need to see that much thigh from Matt, but he is at home at his own house, so I'll give him that. Anyway, Carrie and Matt have to rehash what went down with the Bells, because that's what production wants them to do. That's clear, right? And Carrie tells Matt that all of the ladies, he asked, well, what really went down, right? Because Matt was inside when all the bells went out. So he said, what really went down, right, when all of this happens? This would be the second time they talked about this, because didn't they just have this conversation last week with her mama? Anyway, Carrie said that all of the ladies stepped outside in hopes of helping Tisha and Treece find some resolve. She said that they didn't have any resolve, so we just wanted to see, especially Selena, she wanted to mend things between them, because it's hard to be in a friendship group and 2 people are on the outs, right? And according to Carrie, she said Tisha is the one who got it popping. She said that Tisha's mouth was slick the way she came after Treece, and maybe she said it in a nice, nasty way and didn't expect people to catch it. But she said, my friend is the one who really got the shit crunk. She started it. I caught that. Okay, Carrie? No, it didn't play out quite like that on TV, but I don't doubt it. And then she said, by the time Tisha came in with her damn cold front toward Treece, she said Treece became a complete and total windstorm, okay, like the Tasmanian devil. And she said, next thing you know, we had Hurricane Latricia was up in that motherfucker, and they was calling each other out their name and coming toward each other like, baby, we here, we about to swirl for real. Hair, everything up in the air from this point. It's all up in the air, okay? Anyway, after she tells the story, Matt was like, damn, that's crazy. And then he said, well, I can tell you, I didn't like how Glenn went after the ladies. And then he was about to say, I've never seen Glenn do that before. But you new to the group, boo. You wasn't supposed to see Glenn do that before. But he said, I didn't like the way he did it, walking up on a woman. I just saw him in a group of women and having to be held back by security. Right? They play it back a little bit. And Matt said, listen, I want to, see if I can fix it. I want to see if Glenn and Cliff can meet up and talk this out. And he said he believes that the men can talk it out, that it would probably, fare well for the women too. And Carrie calls him Minister Matt. And she said, well, I think actually Glenn handled himself the way he was supposed to. And I think that Treece handled herself the way she was supposed to. That was weird. But she said he did what he was supposed to do. He thought there was a group of women that was trying to attack his wife. He jumped in the middle of it. I don't think you want to give him too much, I think is what Carrie's saying. Anyway, then Carrie tried to flirt a little bit with Matt. And Matt gave her an eye roll and a because she said something like, I like what you got going on here. Maybe we can, head out for a quickie or something. At least that's what she was suggesting. And Matt looked at her like, God damn. If why are you always giving way too much for these cameras? You know your wife is extra. And we both know that you wasn't trying to have no quickie in the middle of that hot ass afternoon. Ain't nobody trying to do nothing like that when it's that hot, especially at y'all age. Cut it out. Anyway, Carrie ends up talking about doing the promotion at the news station for her restaurant, and she's hoping that she can breathe some new life into it, but we shall see, okay? Because it looks like it ain't gonna happen that way. He definitely told her she was putting on. He definitely looked at her like, girl, okay? If these cameras really weren't here, I'd tell you how I feel about you, okay? Anyway, moving on. In the next scene, we have Miss Carrie, who has pulled together a lunch. She asked for Selena, Tambra, and Marie to come, and she left out Tisha and Treece. She said because the two of them didn't know how to act, okay, at the birthday party, she's not bringing them to the lunch. And then she ends up, they ended up talking about that friendship and whether or not they can mend it, all four of the ladies. Marie said that this is a real fight, okay? She said, me and Treece were into it for years, and it didn't get as bad as what's going down between Treece and Tisha, which is weird because you did threaten to whoop that girl's ass on the reunion stage. We all recall that. And then Tisha jumped in and said she would help you do it. So we're not going to pretend that didn't happen. Anyway, Carrie said that she wants to host a therapy session and just bring all the girls over and maybe we can talk and have fun and, get more resolved there. She said, y'all don't know my skills. Now, Selena in her confessional said, what in the hell makes Carrie qualified to act as a mediator between Letitia and Treece? And Marie, who said, I have been in this group long enough. I've seen it from the beginning. Carrie's just now making it here. And she said that Carrie needs to sit her ass down because you can't take the lead when you want to play neutral, heifer. So that's what Marie said, and I agree. She said, you ain't even willing to say one's right and one's wrong. So you sure in the hell can't play a mediator. So just go on ahead and move on, okay? Anyway, clearly the girls weren't in agreement, but they did all agree to go all the way over to the coast. I don't know how long of a drive that is, but they said, we'll go to the coast, child. We'll do our part in getting the other two there. But just know, we don't think that shit's going to work out. And it's probably really too soon. Maybe you should just work on us just being in the same room together as opposed to trying to get everybody back together. Okay. I do agree with her not getting too much involved because Letitia wouldn't have her back, fully. And I do want to say, look, Carrie and Marie have a very shady relationship, and I'm loving it. I think that they are the duo that we need on this show. Okay, just a little bit of shade because the way Carrie came in and looked at Marie, y'all know Marie likes to wear her, her leotards and things, have a little titty out or whatever. Carrie came in and went, oh, look, you're dressed very modest. She told her she was dressed modest, baby. Marie had on a shirt with a full collar. You didn't even see the collarbone. And then she had on some sort of sweater that buttoned at the neck. I went, not Carrie, noticing that immediately. That shit was funny to me. Marie and Latrice close now. They're not close, but they're very friendly. They're very friendly. But who knows? Who knows? It's hard to say. You know how these reality TV relationships work. Anyway, now we got Tisha. Tisha is at work, y'all. Tisha is at her Belle bondsman office, and somebody else is in there. I don't know who, though. I don't know if that was a secretary or if that was another Belle bondsman that they just share space. I didn't get the full understanding of that relationship. But Tisha ends up telling the audience that she has been a Belle's bondsman since 2011. Okay. She said, I've been doing this job for a long time. It was my first, toe into entrepreneurship, doing something for myself, finding a skill for myself. And then she basically encourages women who are looking for something to do, a business that they might take on. Go on ahead and think about Belle bondsman, okay? Because it's been very good to me. She said it's been very good to her. And then we end up getting a visit from Selena, who also tells us that she used to be a Belle's bondsman back in the day and has had a license since 2012, which she kept up with every single year. I guess there's classes and credits that you need to do online. But she said she got sidetracked after, I guess, an illness and what was going on with her son, perhaps. And she said, listen, Now it's time for me to get the F back into it. Now, when Selena came on last season, her storyline was that she was supposed to be a waitress or maybe a hostess or something over at Latrice's restaurant, remember? And so I was like, this is interesting. So this is giving us very regular, everyday folk, which I actually like. Look, a Belle's bondsman is about as regular schmegler as it gets, right? However, sometimes you need to be able to relate to things that's going on with the people on reality TV. And I like that Selena said, listen, that job wasn't for me, but bitch, I do have this bail bondsman's license. And I don't mind walking into the courtroom looking like a brick house to get a client out of jail, to get somebody out of jail. That's all I'm saying. The bar manager. Okay, the bar manager. Thank you for that information. Okay. Anyway, Selena ends up giving her background on it, and she said that she was there to talk to Letitia to see what's the new steps that's involved so she can get back into it, because that's where she is now. She's ready to get back into the workforce. Okay, thank y'all. Anyway, Tisha ends up apologizing to Selena for acting a fool at her birthday. She said, listen, I'm really sorry about that. Now I done put you in a situation where you have to pick sides, right? And Selena said, no. I don't feel like I have to choose. Walk that back, baby. I am definitely friends with Treece. She's in my wedding. And I'm cool with you too, as long as you're cool with me. I'm not in this shit, okay? So don't put me in it. That was funny. But I liked it. That was real grown woman of her. And she said as polite as can be. As soon as she said, I'm sorry you got to pick sides. She said, I'm not picking sides. Whatever you're thinking, don't think that, okay? She said, you and Treece are the only two people into it right now. And you guys may want us to pick sides, but it's not going to happen. And that's how you play it. We a group, we a collective. And so I'll be happy to help y'all figure it out. But don't tell me not to talk to one or the other, okay? Cool. Selena asked Miss Tisha if she was going to Carrie's event. She has an event on the coast. Are you coming? And Tisha says she has to think about it because, it's a hard thing to weigh. Do I want to go to the coast or do I want to stay at home with my vibrator? Let me think it out. This is exactly what Tisha said. Let me figure it out, child. I don't know. And Selena said, why don't you just bring your vibrator to the coast? If you can't go a day, baby, go on ahead and put it in your purse. And when you walk off, we'll know where you at. Okay. We'll know what's going on. What's up, friend? Hey, Erica, nice to have you. She said, we'll know what's going on. But if it's that deep to you, go on ahead and bring it on the trip. And they have a good little chuckle about that. Anyway, Selena ends up telling Tisha to sweeten the pot a little bit. She said, listen, Miss Carrie is going to send cars for us. We get our personal cars. And she said, you don't have to be in the same car with Latrice. You're going to get a completely different car if Latrice goes, because we don't know, just like I don't know if you're going, right? And then you hear Letitia say, well, thank goodness, because I don't want to bring my bodyguard. And she was like, not the bodyguard, girl. Okay, maybe you're giving a little too much. But yeah, that's how she put it. Come on in, y'all. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are sweet. Thank you. Anyway, now we are on to Matt and Cliff. Matt and Cliff, they floored me. In particular, Cliff, who y'all know I affectionately call Woodstock because he looks exactly like Woodstock from Charlie Brown, okay? But Cliff, the fact that they have to use subtitles because you cannot understand what this man is saying, I can understand it because I do, I have family from the South. So I know how to decipher them words. But the way they put them words up for Cliff, because he be gone, baby. You just can't, you got to know what's going on. Cliffanese, okay? Come on in, y'all. Anyway, Matt wants to meet up with Cliff in hopes of getting Cliff and Glenn to talk to each other, right? Work things out. Only Cliff tells Matt, if Glenn is going, I cannot be there, okay? Glenn comes, I cannot be there. And y'all remember last episode, Cliff dropped some real tea. And I'm going to tell y'all what in just a second, okay? But Matt says, cool. I already talked to Glenn. I already spoke to Glenn. So I'm just going to do this one-on-one with Cliff, right? I need to hear what he's talking about. And when Cliff comes in, he sits down with Matt. They are really eating for real, okay? When they were talking, food in their mouths, just flopping around, child. I was like, damn, they must be super hungry. You said you're loving Cliff as a husband this season. Cliff is giving. Cliff is giving this season for sure. Anyway, Cliff basically says straight up, I'm not allowed anywhere where Glenn is. Okay. That's number one. I know I wasn't there. I didn't see anything go down, but I'm not allowed. And I'm going to follow what my wife tells me to do because it sounds like it was out of pocket. But Cliff asked Matt for his, give me your perspective. What did you see go down? Okay. And Matt said, we were all having fun. Everything was cool. The women went outside. Next thing I know, I see, somebody pulling Glenn out of a group, like the group of women, like something might have popped off. And Cliff said, see, that's exactly why I'm not allowed around that motherfucker right there. He said, that's exactly why I'm not allowed to be around him, because he doesn't know how to control himself, how to handle himself. He said, if I was there, I would have just grabbed my wife and said, let's go. Okay. That's how you diffuse the situation. But this wants to get into the middle and, pull muscle and fight. And it's basically because he's desperate. It's the same shit he said last week. A desperate person will do anything at any time. Do not care. He is so into proving to Letitia that he's her knight in shining armor, that he is here to protect her, that he don't even give a shit what the optics look like with him coming after another woman. And because of that, I cannot be around him. Okay. Speak it, Cliff, okay? He said that the man is dangerous. He didn't even know how to diffuse the situation. Just grab your wife and go, especially when all that drinking and stuff is going on. Why would you do that? Okay, that's what Cliff said. Those ain't my words. That's Cliff. Okay? Cliff said that the way things stand right now, he can't talk to Glenn. He might be able to be cordial if they're in the same room. You can walk and give a head nod or a piece or some shit like that, but I cannot talk to Glenn, okay? Matt said, that's crazy. There got to be a way that you can talk, at least sit down and get this out. There got to be a way. And Woody said, no, the Bells need to talk. I'm just married to a Belle, okay? He said, I'm not a Belle. You might be a Belle, but I'm not a Belle. The way he said that floored me. He said, baby, I don't need to talk shit. I'm married to a Belle. My job is to support the Belle, but I'm not getting in the middle of it, okay? That is when Woody, now let me say this. After he called, he said, are you a Belle? And he meant it. And y'all remember, Cliff used to do that with Willie all the time. The football player, Akeisha's husband, he used to do that shit with Willie all the time, asking questions about his manhood, right? Well, now we on to Matt. Matt, the baseball player. He said, damn it, you might be too involved in this shit if you think that it's up to me and Glenn to get this all worked out. Okay? You said, I'm from Georgia and I can't understand. Okay, listen, I had grandparents from Memphis. And baby, my grandfather, whoo, but my ears were trained from a baby. So I understood. Every once in a while, I look at my grandma like, what did he say? Because my grandmother didn't have the same accent as my grandfather. But he had a strong one. And he spoke super fast and the shit would just pour out, okay? He did. Now, he told her not to jump at his wife. He said, shorty, back up off my wife. I do remember that. But he got himself in the middle of the crowd. And instead of him just pulling what Cliff was saying, was all you had to do was grab Tisha and then take her out of there, instead of getting in the middle of Tisha and making it a you and another woman problem. And he said, because of that, because Glenn crossed the line with Treece, I can no longer even talk to him. That's the rules in my house. And I told y'all that the other week. I said, baby, Treece told that man under no circumstances is this a game that we playing. You said Memphis is totally different. That's true. Glenn is a liability to Cliff because he's liable to do or say anything in her good graces. True. So anyway, after he said that, he said there got to be a way. He told him absolutely not. Matt asked if there's any wiggle room with Treece. Is there any wiggle room with Treece? I mean, that's your wife. Why won't she let you talk to him? And Cliff ends up saying, listen, unless that man plans on being reincarnated, no, there's no wiggle room. Now, I don't know how shit work at your house, but I just told you in mine, I'm doing what my wife tells me to do when it comes to these two. And he isn't making a mistake. This is exactly what needs to happen. Anyway, Matt ends up saying, well, maybe I can talk to Glenn and I can get him to apologize to Treece and admit that he was wrong. And Cliff said, well, that's the first step. If you can do that shit, cool. But that would only be step number one. He's going to have to do that. He's going to have to apologize and some other shit too. But when you get to that step, let me know, because I know Glenn. And Glenn right now is going to blame the sun, the moon, the stars, the mountains for what went on between him and his wife. He's not going to take responsibility. Okay. So that is what it is. That is what it is. Anyway, in confessional, Cliff said, my wife comes first. Who's listening? He said, my wife comes first. She's been through a lot. I watched that woman at home. She's going through this stuff with the blood clots and everything. I'd rather lose Glenn than lose my wife. You just said it, okay? Anyway, after that, I was like, baby, yes, let's talk about it, because those truly are the facts. And just a reminder to how we got here, because I know a lot of people keep saying that Treece is being childish. Treece watched the footage back like all of us. And what Glenn said, just to recap, when he got caught, he said, we need to cut off Treece and Cliff. Treece is not safe for us to be around. Treece is just trying to destroy my family. Those are the words he used instead of taking responsibility for sending hey big head texts to a friend of his damn wife's for trying to grab that woman's hand at Taste or wherever they were. Did I call that a different what is the name of their restaurant? I think I might have called it out wrong because I saw y'all talking about it in the chat, but I don't remember what the name is. Whatever that restaurant is, the fact that he was coming over there on his time off and hanging out at the bar and grabbing hands and pushing up, and the fact that that woman could even sit in a party across from his wife and say, I'm attracted to you, now it's your turn, and don't lie. The fact that she was able to say that, that's your fault, Glenn. That's your fault. And you didn't do this. I mean, you're doing, instead of saying, Mandy, like somebody, you know what I'm saying? If you was really into it, Mandy, if I was a different type of man, I'd smack the taste out your mouth, okay? Don't disrespect my wife and don't disrespect me. You didn't even have enough to say that. You want to know why? Because you were guilty and you knew that she had evidence to prove otherwise. So this is all your fault. All your fault. And if I heard you say that shit, that I'm responsible for possibly breaking your family up, you wouldn't be allowed at my house, my restaurant. My husband wouldn't be able to talk to you either. Those are the facts, okay? Welcome everybody. I see a lot of people I haven't seen in a while. Hey. Probably staying in those rooms above the restaurant too. Possibly. We don't know if he grabbed the key to go upstairs. I don't know. For a woman to say that they knew they could sleep with your man if they wanted to and then try to show proof, I think that's pretty nasty. I think it's nasty. But anyway, Matt ends up telling Cliff that he's going to talk to Glenn and he's going to see if anything is mendable. He's going to see if anything is mendable between the two of them. And Cliff said, cool, if that's what you want to do. But he's pretty solid. I don't give two shits. If we don't make it through this season, it is okay, right? Hey, Mildred. Nice to have you, honey. We would have not known Ish if Amanda wouldn't have brought it up. We wouldn't have known Ish if Amanda wouldn't have brought it up. But the fact that she did, okay? And she's still a part of this show. She's still showing up as Latrice's friend. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? And as far as Cliff said it, Mandy is a part of his family. That's his wife's friend. So he's going to respect the friend. What he told his good friend Glenn was, you messed up. You put yourself in a position where another woman who wanted what your wife has, because that's the only reason she would say it, to mess her shit up and mess you up at the same time. He told him that's your fault. Remember when he came to his restaurant and said, you need to check your wife? He said, I will never check her. He said, I won't check her for what? I'm not in that. We didn't have anything to do with that. I'm not going to check my wife. I'm not going to check Mandy. I will check you, though. My advice to you is stop putting yourself in positions where another woman can come down and tear down what you built. Cliff is giving like all the tea this season. Bible. Bible, okay? Anyway, this scene still went on. Cliff ends up saying there's a civil war going on between the Bells and they got to fight it out. Matt said, well, somebody might die in a war. And Cliff said, you better duck because you might get shot. He said, you better duck because you might get shot, okay? And that floored Matt. Matt died. Listen, Cliff is a good time. I understand what Latrice sees in Cliff now, because before I was just like, what? But Cliff is funny as hell, okay? I think that's how they got attracted. It was the humor part and the money. The humor and the money. Come on in, you guys. Welcome. Hit the like button, share the video. I appreciate all of you guys for rocking with me, okay? All right, now it is the day of therapy, right? And she sends out these SUVs to pick up the girls. In one car, in one SUV, we have Tambra, Treece, and Selena. In the other car, we have Marie and Letitia, okay? So let's talk about what's going on in Treece's car first. So they're in the car, and Tambra lets Latrice know that Carrie is setting up an intervention. That's what it looks like. She told us it was going to be called therapy. And I just want to give you a heads up, child. She might try to, mend fences between you and Letitia, right? And Treece says, first they start going back and forth. Also, I want to say this. Selena said that she ends up confessing that she had met with Tisha private, and she also let her know that she was going to be there and she might want to consider peace. Treece says, what is up with all of y'all talking about me behind my damn back? That's number one. And they were like, well, we don't know if she's coming or not. And she said, well, I hope that she isn't coming because that's not where I am right now. I don't want to mend fences with anybody. Okay. And then we have a scene, you guys. This is pretty much where they pretty much cut off. But there's a scene because if y'all could tell, they were driving in their car. They're driving in the car. And then all of a sudden the car is in a parking lot. So we see Tambra take a call. And I don't know if maybe somebody on production received a call that there was an emergency for Tambra. So they made the car park and then they hand Tambra the phone or they tell her to call someone while it's still rolling, right? And when she gets the call, she finds out that her dad was found unresponsive at his job. So he ended up laid out, and she said that they believe it was a stroke, and she lost it. She's in the back of the car. Her hands are shaking. Her knee was like boom, 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 boom. Like she was shaking so bad. And she's like, oh my God, I got to get out of the car. She gets out of the car. I think another producer ends up taking her back to Jackson while the rest of, Selena and Treece drive toward the coast. But it was real sad. I tried to look up some sort of, to see if we could find anything about her father. We haven't found out anything. It's not posted to the internet that anything happened, anything more happened. So it was a real scene. She was super emotional. And I mean, they were sitting there checking their makeup. They thought she was just maybe taking a call because they had big mirrors. So they ended up playing that scene out. And they even gave us pictures of Tambra with her father when she was like a child. He was a young man, you know what I'm saying? Like a handsome guy. And they showed him when he was much older, and her father. It was very touching. It was a moment. It was a moment. Yeah. I felt bad for her too. I felt bad for her too. Anyway, in Tisha and Marie's car, I'm sorry I'm doing this transition like that, but in Tisha and Marie's car, y'all, Tisha ends up catching Marie up on the fight that she had with Glenn, right? And she told Marie that she had told Glenn she wanted to be celibate because she has to protect the energy around her and the energy inside of her. Now, when Marie hears her say this, I swear to y'all, Marie did a whole body laugh. She was like, like her head started bobbing. You can tell that she was trying to stifle it. Like, I don't want to laugh too hard because you're going to hate both me and Treece when I get done with this laugh. But she laughed like, baby, as soon as I can find some space to laugh the way I want to about this shit, I'm definitely gonna, okay? You can just tell she was like, "Ooh, this is crazy." And look, Marie gives a lot of facial expressions, baby. The way Marie will stare at you and then do this long eye blink, like she's desperately just trying not to burst into laughter. But she was like, and then it took her a second. She closes her eyes and she opens her eyes back up. I said, I don't know why I did not pay attention to Marie before, but Marie's energy is amazing in these scenes. I love it. Okay. Yes, this episode was definitely a 10 out of 10. Marie said, "Give me the rest, girl. When you told him you wanted to be celibate, what did he say?" And she said, "He told me, he told me that I want him to fall." Okay. So she said, "I told him about, just wanting to be financially independent and, blah, blah, blah." And Marie's like, "You and Glenn are the good time that just keeps on giving. I swear to God." But she said, "Well, what did he say to you? What did he say back?" She said, "Well, he told me that I wanted him to fall." And she went, "Okay, okay, I get it." And yes, just for code, he's basically saying, if you won't give me what I want at home, then I'm going to get what I want outside. And you must want me to fall if you're not going to give me what I want at home. Again, when she was giving you what you wanted at home, you still were outside. So it's those kind of threats that would have your ass right out the door. There is no way to win with Glenn, Letitia. You are in a catch-22, girl. Okay? He's going to do it regardless. But in confessional, Tisha says, "Listen, I really want to be independent. I really want to have my own identity. But I also love Glenn. And there's something about that makes me think I can work it out." And then she said, "I'm just confused. I don't know. Girl, bye. Okay? Why doesn't Glenn work? I think he's supposed to still have his good job at the docks. That's what I heard. That's what I heard. Anyway, this is what I need to always be. I need for Marie and for Letitia, or excuse me, Marie and Latrice to always be friendly, because Marie is actually hilarious. And I think that Treece has a lot to do with that. I swear to God. I think she has a lot to do with it, because the way she looks at Letitia now, before she used to be like so damn concerned, but the way she is stifling the laughter when Latrice talks to her, when Tisha talks to her is amazing. I love it. Anyway, Marie ends up warning Tisha that Carrie may have an intervention for her and Latrice. And Tisha said, "Well, first off, she didn't even call me and invite me. I got an invite from Carrie. So now I don't even know if I want to go. I should have this car turn around, right?" And Marie ends up telling her, "Well, we don't know. We don't know if Treece is coming. So we should just continue to go, right? We should just continue to go. Come on in, hit the like button, share the video." This is the role for Dr. Marie. Yeah, for Dr. Monroe, I agree. She is. She's saying, I told you so you don't have to find out on your own. But I'm telling you, her energy, her facial expressions, all of it, it's giving. It's giving. She's looking at her friend like, girl, I know that you are still one flew over the cuckoo's nest. I still love you, but you are in the one flew over the cuckoo's nest phase with this relationship. And sometimes you just got to listen and nod your head. You can't always try to course correct people. You got to listen and let them get there. You know what I'm saying? On their own. That ninja's going to get her. That's what he told her. He said, you're trying to make me fall. You're trying to make me fail by not giving me coochie. That's what he said. And you know that if I can't get it from you, I'm going to get it from someplace else. That's exactly what he said. Okay. You got to read between them damn lines. I think that Marie knows they will eventually be cool again. And I think you're right. I actually said that too. I said, you know what? There's no reason to get involved in this shit because you know what type of relationship they have. They fight hard and then they come back together, and you can't, you'd have been told all of the stuff you think about them, right? And then she's up here telling your enemy, somebody you didn't try to get cool with, she jealous of y'all relationship, so now she telling it to her. I agree. Okay, so anyway, now we are at Carrie's house, right? Carrie has a beautiful home. Marie and Tisha get there first, and they are gushing about Carrie's decor. Oh my God, it's so beautiful in here. And Carrie's like, yeah, child, I just did this. I did the wallpaper myself. I done got this, and this together. Beautiful. It looks like a resort almost. But yeah, so they come in, they talking, and then Treece and Selena arrive, right? And Carrie goes and meets them at the door, and Tisha can overhear Latrice's voice. And baby, I don't even know how to show y'all. Let me get a book. Look, Letitia dips her head and looks at Marie like, bitch, is that her voice I hear? And then you see her fingers tapping on the countertop like this. And Marie, and Marie literally went, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, she just smiles. I'm not going to give you too much. I know you're pissed. But listen, the shoe is on the other foot, because when I was acting a fool and cutting up about Latrice, you was over there enjoying your life, okay? So I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it, right? Anyway, have y'all taken the poll? Take the poll. Take the poll. Okay, so when Treece comes into the kitchen where Tisha and Marie are, Treece and Marie give each other this really warm hug, kiss each other on the cheek, happy to see each other. And then Treece looks over at Tisha and grabs her phone and literally starts looking at her phone. I'm not fooling with you. I don't want to give you nothing. I'm good, right? We can be in the same room together because that's what both of them are preaching. We can be in the same room together. We can do all the stuff that the Bells do, but we're not going to talk to each other. Like, that doesn't weigh on the rest of the group. You know it weighs on the rest of the group, child. You tell a joke, I end up laughing, and then Treece over here like that shit ain't funny. It's funny. We should all be laughing. We should all be laughing. But y'all know how it works. Anyway, they end up coming in, sitting on the couch, and then there's some talk about sophistiratchet. I said that doggone term was not going to stick. I don't want it to stick. But oh, girl has t-shirts ready. She got carry bags. Apparently, she's about to make this into some sort of profit. I see it. I see it. Nobody's wearing them damn t-shirts, girl. Throw that idea away and just concentrate on that restaurant. Anyway, they're all sitting down, and that's when Carrie says, listen, I got a special guest who comes to the door. And let me make sure I got that right. Yeah. And the lady's name is Alicia, and she happens to be a relationship and positivity expert. She gets down to the core, the knit and the grit of things. And this is someone that only Miss Carrie knows. So she's taken full responsibility from bringing this lady in. Now, when the girls hear that Carrie has this person coming, they're like, We did not come here for this. I don't want this lady to talk to us about relationships. We're good. Why don't we just try to work on being in each other's presence first before we start trying to work shit out? We told you it was too soon, but Carrie didn't want to hear that. So this is where we are. All right, so here's the conversation. It's very light. I don't know what the hell. You can tell it was more involved, but the way production cut the scene, what we get is Tisha saying that she needs people around her who can help her look at things differently. Basically, she's saying, I don't get it right all the time, but if you can't be my friend and say, this is a different way to look at it, or blah, 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 I don't know if I want that type of energy around me. Now, I don't know if she was talking about Treece specifically, but I do want to say, what the hell do you think was going on when y'all went down to the coast the first time? And Treece was sitting there with snot coming out of her nose, crying to you and swearing, I did not set you up. And at the very minimum, Tisha, why don't we promise to just doing baby steps? She said that to you, girl. She was begging you to please not throw her away. I don't know why you don't remember that. And I don't know why nobody else is saying anything, but that's how it played out on my TV. That was the season finale. She was hurt and she begged you not to throw her away. Please, let's just do it in baby steps at the very minimum until you can find room in your head and in your heart to see things differently. That's what she said, period. Anyway, after she says that, Treece said, I understand the idea of us communicating and talking. I get that. I understand that it's necessary. But when someone is doing the same shit to you, lies, betrayal, hurt, when that replays itself over and over again in a friendship, that's when I say no. I know what this shit is. I'm not doing it anymore. That's not a lie. That's not a lie. I'm going to say this. I wish that, I don't think that Tisha actually wants to axe this friendship, because she does a Uno reverse at the end of this show too. She does a Uno reverse, but she tried to axe this damn friendship. Like, I'm so hard and tough. I don't ever want to trust her. She brought that girl on the show to, climb on my back and get fame. And you were very adamant that you would never talk to her again. That's what you said on the reunion. As of right now, I will never with Treece again, even though Treece begged you to please give her an opportunity to show you different. Latrice is hurt and she knows Leticia is blaming other things to not make herself look bad with Glenn. Cool. You're right. So anyway, Tisha ends up saying, this is a collective. This is a sisterhood. When something happens to one of us, all of us play a part in it. Okay? It's not just one person. Everybody contributes, whether it's to the right or to the wrong. And I wish that we could just start over. I wish that we could just reset. Okay. Now Treece is in confessional. And she said, I'm tired of this reset bullshit when it comes to Tisha. She is the main one always causing the strife in the damn collective. Tisha is good for saying she wants us to be a safe space when she's the danger. Who the does she think she is? Okay. Anyway, the therapist ends up asking Tisha if she still calls Latrice a friend. And Tisha, with a smirk on her face, says, well, I don't think that we're in a good place to even use that term. Wrong move. If you said you wanted a restart just a second ago, then say, you know what? I think that I gave a little too much, but I'm always going to see her as my friend because she is a part of the collective. We're just in a bad place. There was a lot of different ways to drive this conversation. But what you did was you again ignited the issue. You keep doing the same shit. Either you blame this solely on your husband, because nobody knows that you're married more than your husband knows. Okay? It's not Treece's problem to control Mandy any more than it is her problem to control your husband. You and your husband made that vow. So the fact that you didn't say right then and there, when you already said you wanted a reset, I've had time to think about it, and this is actually hurting me more than it's making me feel good. I do love Treece, and even though we're in a bad place now, I do see us getting better. So that means that I do see her as my friend. There was a lot of things that you could have said to make this a better situation, but you end up saying that. And Treece, who's on the other side, it looks to me like she wants you to say, in my opinion, it looked like she wanted her to say, let's squash it, right? Even though she's out here saying it, I think she would have even been open to you saying, let's squash it, but you didn't. And when she said it that way, Treece said, Tisha's not my friend. Not now, and she never was my damn friend. She speaks good, but her actions tell a different story, and I don't respect it. Okay? And I was like, well, bitch, she's not lying. That's true. That's true. Okay. Hold on. We're going to get there. Okay. Now, Tisha says, we're good. Okay. She said, listen, we're good. But the bottom line is, Treece, if and this is where it looks like she's trying to puppet master Tisha a little bit. I don't know if y'all paid attention to this, but she said, when we're good, as if we might be on the outs right now, and I don't choose you as my friend right now, but when I do, we're going to be on the phone, talking to each other, chucking it up, laughing every day like we usually do. And when that happens, you don't have any problems with me. But now that we're on the outs, I'm a horrible person. Again, Tisha, if you just said that the girl wasn't your friend, then she's not your friend. Why are you talking about the good times? Why are you talking about the good times if that's not where you are? Makes no sense. But Treece said, bitch, you are a horrible person. Not a maybe. I don't care how good the times are. You're still a horrible person. Trisha said, so are you. Or Tisha said, so are you. You are too. And then Selena said, let's stop. Okay. So now Selena's in it. And Selena, y'all know, has a pretty easy demeanor. But Selena says, listen, what's going on between the two of y'all is affecting all of us. It's affecting all of us. And then she goes on to say, I feel like there's no hope. That's what you guys are doing. You keep basically pounding the nail into the coffin even deeper. There's no hope. Then she says, I am going to say this. And she puts her hand on Treece's shoulder and she said, you got to listen, friend. Okay, I'm going to say it. I know you don't like it, but you got to listen to this, friend. She said, a lot of people got your ear and you need to start taking what's being said with the other person into account and stop listening to everybody else. This pisses Treece off. Treece says, I don't have anyone in my ear. I heard it with my own ears. Stop acting like I'm being influenced by outside noises. That's not the case. She talked to my employee. While she's saying that, Tisha said, you are a liar. You are a liar. I don't even know any of your employees. Treece said, bitch, you're beneath me. You're beneath me is what she said. Now Tisha got to pull rank because she feels like this is her show. I'm the reason the collective's on this damn TV show. So she tells her, baby, I'm not beneath you. You pay me. Your storyline and whatever you got going on with Woodstock pays me. Okay? See how I'm on top? And you're the one below me. I'm the top dog on this bitch. See, that's what happens when people start pulling rank on the show, child. Anyway, Treece said, pay me the fuck out. Pay me out right now. I want this contract done. If this is how you feel about it, today's my last day. Pay me out. All right? Did y'all see that? That's when Carrie stands up. She goes, la 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 la. Now y'all talking about quitting the show? La la la. No, 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 no. Cut it out. Cut it out. Anyway, after that, the therapist, y'all know how the therapist does. Y'all are educated Black women, okay? Why are y'all talking to each other like this and saying stuff like this to each other? And when she does that, that's when Treece pretends to cry. Now listen, y'all remember last week? When Treece was sitting with her husband and she said, I said, well, let's go, bitch. And he said, you're too classy to be calling somebody a bitch, right? He said, don't do that. Don't stoop to their level. And then she hears it from this woman. And I think Treece was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Whatever promises she made, because she has told her husband not to mess with Glenn so that it doesn't make them look bad. And now she's showing up in spaces, having back and forth with Treece. And now it makes her look bad. So all of a sudden, she starts fake crying, right? And she's like doing this to her face and like making an ugly cry. And then she pulls, Selena has on a Burberry scarf tied around her neck. She took the damn tail of the scarf and started wiping her nose and her eyes. I was like, baby, what is happening? And then she bobs her head to whisper. She bobs her head to whisper in Selena's ear, only the camera catches her. The camera catches her smiling. The smile is as big as this. Like, girl, I'm just playing it off. I'm sorry I messed up your scarf. Whatever she said, I'll buy you a new one, bitch. Let's just go with it. She said something to that extent, right? I'm gonna get you a new scarf, girl. Just let me wipe my nose with it because I gotta play this out. She owes you a new scarf, baby, because she definitely turned it on for the cameras. And I really believe is because she has been giving her husband an earful on the things he can and cannot do. And then when that therapist brought it home, it rung in her ears like, bitch, that's exactly what Cliff told me last week. Okay, come on, Ian. She said, that's exactly why I don't trust Treece. Yes, right. You said that Burberry ain't cheap. Nope. I'm telling you, she whispered in her ear, I'm gonna buy you a new scarf, baby. I'm gonna buy you a new scarf. Just go with it. Then Marie stands up. Marie don't even hand a tissue to her good friend, Tisha. Marie stood up over Treece and she said, girl, you're going to have to let this go. You're going to have to lay this burden down. She hands her a tissue, lets her wipe her eyes, and then Marie sits firmly beside Treece. Not her good friend at the end of the couch. Treece, y'all just now getting y'all friendship back together. I said, oh my God, I am loving Marie. She's taking me out of here. She's taking me out. Okay, Marie went and sat down. Now Tisha is by herself on the other end of the couch. And the only person is sitting beside her, and not even really, because she's sitting in the middle, is Carrie. And Tisha starts crying. And she got real tears rolling down her face. And she said, Uno reverse. Treece throws me away anytime we get into it. You threw her away. You threw her away on the reunion. Girl, what is going on? What is wrong with y'all? Is your memory that bad? Anyway, she tells her, yes, my husband cheated on me. Yes, I might not be in the best marriage right now, but you keep tearing me down. And every time we get into it, you tear me down. I don't know what to say. I'm so confused. Anyway, the therapist ends up saying to both of them, you over here crying, and not a little cry, you sobbing. Carrie's passing napkins over to Tisha, and Marie sitting right beside Treece and dabbing her eyes with the tears. I was like, this is so humiliating. Anyway, the therapist says, the fact that both of you are crying the way you are about each other tells me that you still love each other and that you still want to be friends. if somebody don't start pointing out that they didn't said the same thing, you're the one who said the door was closed, Letitia. It was not Latrice. You did that to protect that lying ass scoundrel of a husband. Oh my goodness. Anyway, that's basically how it ends. We don't see what happens next week. Breaking up with your good friends feel worse than breaking up with a man. That's true. Breaking up with your friend, that shit does hurt. I mean, half of your memories in life is with, your friends and stuff. So when you break up with your friend, that's hard to do. Anyway, we're going to do the poll. Okay. Let's take the poll, please. And thank you. Hold on. I don't even have it. I don't even have the doggone screen up, y'all. Give me a second. My bad. My computer had turned off right before I went live, and I didn't put everything back where it was supposed to be. Okay, this is interesting. Hold on. I'm still here. I just got to wait for this commercial to go away. Oh my goodness, I got 3 commercials. Okay, here we go. Sorry about that, y'all. Okay, so the question was, and if you guys are watching the replay, make sure that you put it in the chat. Okay, put your answer in the chat if you're watching the replay. I asked on this poll at Therapy, did Latrice break character and laugh during an ugly cry, or was that her facial tick? Now I think that it was I think it was the facial tick. I mean, excuse me, I think that she broke character. My bad. But you guys said 37% of y'all said it was the facial tick, that you think that it was really her crying. And then 27% of y'all said she definitely broke character. And then 36% of y'all said you couldn't tell one way or the other. So you were leaning toward, I'm going to say, there was a lot of people who are giving Latrice the benefit of the doubt. But what I wanted to say was, I don't think that the scene was fake in the sense that they are pretending to have it out with each other. I think that they're really into it with each other, just based on how the words are coming out of their mouth. When people start saying things like, you're beneath me and pay me and all that stuff. If we was faking it, baby, don't fake it to that point. Okay. I'm gonna have a problem. Lies More Lies said, I think it was a tick. Ty said, Latrice is guilty. Angie, you're saying that you think, or excuse me, Angel, my bad. Angel P, you said that you think it's a tick or no. Which one? But you guys, that's how it ended. It was a good episode. We are 4 episodes in. Next week is the 5th episode. This show is still a 10 out of 10. Every episode this season has been a 10 out of 10. I like everybody. I think they're all playing their part. And I'm looking forward to seeing the sit down between Latrice and Letitia. You said no tick. Okay. 10 out of 10. Okay, so that's it, you guys. Anyway, I appreciate all of y'all for coming over and hanging out with me today. If you're not a subscriber, please become one and make sure you're following me on all platforms. Also, make sure that your notification bells are on. You said, in my opinion, that you think that she has a nervous tick. I thought about it. I was like, it's possible, because she will smile when things get real uncomfortable for her. That's just what she does. I've seen her smile during those moments. So it could be that. And a lot of y'all, like I said, gave her the benefit of the doubt. A lot of people think so. So anyway, I appreciate that all of you are so complimentary in this doggone chat, child. Usually I be getting dragged through the cold sometimes, but y'all all like, I love it. Da, da, da. But thank you. I appreciate it. I don't know what I did to deserve it, but I appreciate it. I appreciate it all the same. Anyways, you guys, let me put my other screen up. I do want to thank every single one of y'all for coming over and hanging out with me today. Thank you to my sister, Clone in the House, for being my moderator. Love you, girl. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's my real sister. We got the same mama, same daddy, I swear. Okay? Anyways, y'all come back. I still have another review to get up. And of course, we are back on Love and Marriage Huntsville tomorrow. I want to see how Kimmy handle things, okay, with her doggone husband. Outside of that, you guys, I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.